Okay, Resolution 2010-24, authorizing the purchasing agent to purchase Police Department and Public Works Department vehicles. Be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Brigantine hereby authorizes the City of Brigantine purchasing agent to purchase 2 vehicles listed on the New Jersey State contract. One Ford Escape 4x4 from Ditchman Flemington Ford in the amount of $20,857, and one Chevrolet pickup truck 4x4 for $20,141 from Flemington Buick of Flemington, New Jersey. A motion and second, please.
So moved. Second.
Jim, we're adding these to the...
All right, the Ford Escape will go to the police department. You know, we were purchasing Durangos in the past, which are much larger. We're going down to a smaller vehicle, the Ford Escape. Currently, the police department has 2 pickup trucks. One of them will be moved down to the beach patrol who lost the vehicle and needs a vehicle for transporting boats in the stands. So that'll go there. The pickup truck, and that comes out of a bond. The pickup truck will come out of water and sewer utility, and that's recommendation of Director Purdy, who needs that vehicle for their department.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, any further discussion?
Yes, Mayor. I have a couple of questions and a comment. First, I'd like to commend the department heads for their efforts in 2009 and how they helped or how they were able to operate in these challenging times. I'd like to congratulate the mayor on his State of the City address. Excellent, Mayor, as always. You do a fine job there.
Thank you, Dan.
However, I would be remiss if I did not express my concern over the purchase of these vehicles. In numerous occasions this evening, Mayor, you talked about challenges. You talked about maximizing assets. You talked about how City Council is monitoring how every dollar is spent. And you talk about fiscal challenges. Is there an opportunity in these difficult times to reassess the use of existing vehicles to determine if they are being used as efficiently or as effectively as possible? With the fiscal challenges we face, I believe we need to ask these questions and to provide honest assessments and answers. It is my understanding there are multiple city-owned vehicles designated for personnel use by city employees and officials. I suggest, where possible, these vehicles be reassigned to fill the need for new or additional vehicles. This will avoid the added expenditure to purchase vehicles and make better use of our resources. My hope is that city officials will gladly sacrifice a city-owned vehicle at their disposal in order to remain fiscally responsible to their constituents, the constituents that we serve. Now, I have a couple questions.
Yeah, could I, maybe I misunderstood the comment. Did you say personal use?
I believe that there are vehicles that are being used personal use.
For personal use?
Well, I think if you take a vehicle home, you drive it back and forth for its personal use. May I continue, Matt?
Yeah, I didn't know whether you said personnel or personal.
Personal, yes. The Ford Escape 4x4 for the police department. First of all, I think it's important that the public know that this resolution was obtained by City Council either at the end of Monday or Tuesday. I received it on Tuesday. And it has been a constant complaint of mine that resolutions and ordinances are given to City Council members with very, very little time to scrutinize these resolutions and ordinances and allow us to make the appropriate, proper decisions that will make us fiscally responsible. And I've had this conversation with City Manager Jim Barber. I did call Jim Barber yesterday to ask him what these vehicles were for. Pertaining to the police department, I have in front of me a fleet sheet of all vehicles from 2009. I have a question for the chief. Chief, there is a vehicle that was purchased last year, a Ford Escape that's new, that I see sitting in the parking lot every day. I would venture to say that it has minimal, if any, mileage. So my question to you is, do we really need this Ford Escape? What's its purpose? And can't we all take a look at our assets and ask City Council to table these purchases today until we have a better understanding and recognize whether or not these purchases are necessary? I believe that the taxpayers are entitled to our fiscal responsibility, and I can tell you as a council person, I will not sit up here and approve something that I am not positive that we need in these tough economic times. I believe that we all have to do more with less, as the mayor said, as I've said repeatedly, but clearly, I believe that we have more vehicles at our disposal than are absolutely necessary, and I would ask council to table these purchases today until we have an opportunity so that we can address our constituents when they come up to us and ask us, are all of these vehicles needed? And now, I apologize, Chief, but
Tony, you're going to let the chief answer?
I said I apologize, Mayor, but I want the chief to answer, yes.
First of all, I believe that fleet sheet came out of the confidential information from the year-end report, and you just put out to the public our undercover vehicle that we had for doing undercover work. So now that vehicle has specialized equipment in it, and we apparently can't use it for that anymore because you proceeded to put that out there. The reason I said it was confidential in the year-end report was so it doesn't get out to the public. Okay?
Chief, this report has not been shared with anyone.
You just put it out on open television. You just put it out on open television. I understand your concern, but you could have come to me and asked me, and I would have gladly told you, and that would have been a confidential conversation between you and I. Yet you put it out over the television, and now I have a vehicle that I use for special undercover operations that has just been sold.
I don't think that anybody in the audience knows what vehicle I'm talking about.
You just described the vehicle.
We only have
Mayor,
one.
the chief's been here 27 years, I've been here 40 years. We believe these vehicles are needed. Mr. Pullella's been here about a year. So you can either take our expertise or your expertise.
Jim, I have a responsibility to the taxpayers.
Well, the
and it's City Council.
If I could interject,
that
Tony, I'm just curious. Once again, we asked the chief and the city manager. You asked the question, what is the purpose of the vehicle? So if you want to continue, you can explain what the purpose of the vehicles is.
This vehicle purchase is we are going to take the pickup truck that we have that's in pretty decent shape and transfer that to the beach patrol. And then we would obtain another, but we need a four-wheel drive. We need a few four-wheel drives. Look at all the snow we have. Look at when we get the floods. We need these kind of vehicles. What we would do is now, instead of having a bigger Hemi vehicle that is more gas non-friendly, we're going to a Ford Escape, which is more friendly economically, and we thought that was a better choice. It would save money in the long run, and we would have that vehicle. Unfortunately,
Sorry, Chief.
Chris, the way these vehicles are purchased, since they are four-wheel drive, could you explain how that works financially?
Sure. Four-wheel drive vehicles are allowed to be purchased with bond money. The one Silverado that we have on this list to be purchased also is coming out of the water and sewer utility, which is paid for by water and sewer rents. Both of these vehicles are bid by the state of New Jersey and allows municipalities and or other government agencies to piggyback on that bid.
So the bond issue is already in place.
Correct.
So
Two old bonds.
Exactly.
We have after from vehicle.
So the purchase of this vehicle is not coming out of operational funds. It's coming out of debt service or bond money that's already been allocated.
It has no effect on this year's taxes.
No effect on the taxes.
Ernie, why would you possibly need a new four-wheel drive pickup truck?
Well, actually, Councilman, I'm running out of stop signs to put on the floorboards in my vehicles that I'm running now.
Thank you very much.
I
was just-
currently am running 1982 dump trucks,
It was a rhetorical
1990
question,
dump
I
trucks.
understand.
The other question, and it's an important question because, in terms of the perception of number of vehicles, one of the things that I know, having been here as long as I have, is that vehicles have a long life cycle within the city of Brigantine. Rarely does a vehicle move out of service until it is completely useless. So when you move a police car, where does that usually go, Chief?
If there's any life expectancy left in it after the mechanics, it can go to another department and be used. We've given them to the seniors to transport people. If not, it gets sold at auction because it's just...
Generally, how many miles
Most
are
of
on
the time, Mayor, it's scrap. We sell them for scrap.
it? Well over 100,000 miles, I suppose. Right?
Yeah, but is that also part of the accreditation where they don't want vehicles with so many miles on it?
Correct.
Due to safety?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any
It
other?
also gets a point, Mayor, where it's not cost effective for these vehicles. These guys are running, the vehicles my men have to run. It's not cost effective. If you want to do the math, let's do the math what it costs a mechanic to take care of these things and the parts. Really.
Okay, any further discussion on the purchase of the vehicles? Okay, seeing none, could we have roll call, please?
Solari?
I think we had yes, we
Yeah.
did. We wouldn't have had discussion.
We did,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Solari. Banani?
Yes.
Storino?
Yes.
Palilla?
No.
Schilling?
Very definitely yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Mayor Gunther?
Yes.
Motion carried.